So we need activists. We need people to put boots in the ground and do the physical work. Next set of skilled people we need are organizers. Organizers to lead campaigns of all types, to lead groups of all sizes, and specialists with expertise, or educators, fundraisers, speakers, all kinds of expertise that we can put to work. We need to put to work. And then lastly, fourth group of people we need is leadership. To plan, develop, organize, manage, do the media and marketing, develop the IT, communications, web presence, represent us and take responsibility, and to be statesmen lobbyists. We've had a taste of this in the last year where we've had to go in and actually develop relationship with legislators. And there's a lot of finesse. Unfortunately, we have some experience and some great teachers. So we can delineate ourselves in four categories of operators or actors. Supporters, which every political organization has, is their base. Activists who get out there and motivate the base and build the base. Organizers who develop the programs and coordinate everything, get the activists the material they need to do their job. And leadership to bring it all together, develop it, manage it, make it work. So we got four categories of actors. Is there anything else fundamentally we can pull out? Very basic. Yes, there is. There's the skills themselves. I literally went through all the tasks. I think I had 114 task list that I thought that we could do to fulfill our obligations by our guiding principles. And then I started writing beside each of those what specific skills it would take. I was able to come up with 5 basic skills that cover nearly everything we do. First one, we do action issue campaigns. We do direct lobby legislators, candidate campaigns, recruiting campaigns, rallies, protests, demonstrations, and canvassing. These are all forms of activism. There is a lot of documentation in activism. Unfortunately, almost all I find on the internet is for the left or by the left. We've got a lot of good links up on our website. If you go to our action pages, there's a tab that says information for activists. I've got a lot of links up there. We'll be refining that. We'll tell you more about that in a bit. All these are a form of activism. Activism at the supporter level, we want our supporters to be good grassroots lobbyists. We want them to write good letters. We want them to support us in our hardcore lobbying of politicians. We can move politicians with pressure. It's a proven fact. The next skill, I'm going to step back here. With activism, we want our activists to be able to lead the activism, to be able to engage, and have the resources and the training to do the best job they can. And once again, there's quite a bit of information. A lot of the information is left. And in this category here, in the activists, our competition, Acorn, pays people to do this. I think $8 an hour, and they get a lot of folks to do it. Organizers under activism. And the organizers need to be able to plan, develop, and organize. And once again, a lot of information. I'll be sharing some of that shortly. And leaders need to plan and strategize. Figure out what is the best activism to pursue first. What will get us the most bang for the buck? Where should we focus our resources? To organize and provide the resources needed across all of our different functions for the caucus. The next skill I pulled out is a bunch of skills, and actually they all relate to one. We all need better communication skills, planning and organization skills, to be able to evaluate and best use our resources, to know how to mentor and develop new leaders, the skills of delegation and cooperation, collaboration, encouragement, and to set good examples. These are all forms of leadership. Leadership is the science. It is taught in a number of places. I've been to 2 particularly excellent courses on it. I'll talk about those in a minute. When it comes to leadership, what do we want of our supporters? We want them to be civic leaders. We want them to be good examples for constitutionalists, to stand up and take ownership of their communities and support the Constitution. We're going to present all the leadership training we can to our base and go from there. And I'll explain more on that in a little bit on leadership. From our activists, they need to know leadership skills, organizational, communication, motivational skills, small group organization focus. Organizers, they need a larger group focus. They need better skills to get collaboration out of others within their group, better communication skills, and better organization skills. It's a building block process for leadership. Any leadership course that is of merit will have an introduction level. A year later, you have a second year level where you've been challenged and tested what you learned in the first year level, and build from that, because it is a continuing process. There is a lot to learning and perfecting leadership skills. And of course, our leadership, to be the statesmen and women, to have the decorum, the respect, the political capital, to go into the State House and lobby legislators, to set the example, to implement and provide leadership training. One of the core fundamentals of any leadership program is manager of learning. Every manager or leader has an obligation to make sure the people that follow them are trained in the leadership principles to have a better unit, to be cooperative, have more collaboration, and be more effective. Of course, the next skill I pulled out, we need education of all kinds. Constitutional education, education on these fundamental skills I'm pulling out here. On the issues, we need speaker and educator development. We need education on history and economics and political science. Education, our third group. We want our supporters to have a sound constitutional foundation. We want everyone to be an educator. We want our activists to have education in communication, organization, and leadership skills. Kind of a bleed over from our leadership training. And we will see that all of these skills have complementary connections to other skills that improve and help them. And that's something throughout leadership in our country. Corporate leadership cherry picks a set of skills that they want. The marketing guys pick a set they want. And of course, our politicians pick a little bit that they want to be good leaders. But if we all know what the fundamentals of leadership are, we can all point at our leaders and say, you are not doing your job in this category of leadership. Back to education, I digress, I'm sorry. Organizers need to have advanced expert knowledge. They need to be able to be trainers. They need to develop and implement training programs and write curriculum. This is where our curriculum development will be in our education program at our organizers level. And then leadership, lead, manage the programs, develop, integrate. Then the fourth item I pulled out, we need to find like-minded souls. We need to enlighten and convert. We need a refined message to attract and compel further study. Lydia talked about this. Bob talked about this. Tact, a full tank, an empty tank. Knowing your audience, when to push, when not to push. So we need to refine our message. We want to make it compelling. So we really have to do very little. Give them the information, give them the teaser, and give them the path to self-education. I believe there's enough information that we have in the liberty movement that just needs refinement and presentation. We need to recruit activists and organizers, and we need to find candidates and elected officials. The fourth category is recruitment. This is not so much a particular skill. Of course, all of us can use refinement. It's like in marketing or sales. If you've ever been in retail sales, you know it's a lot of this presentation. But it's more of a building block. The first block of it is the development of material message to compel others to join us at the supporters level. How do we refine our message? What do we do first? What is best for this group and what is best for another group? What works at the Moose may not work at the Elks, or whatever. We need different approaches, and we need to be able to ascertain which is the best approach. Our activists need to be able to identify and cultivate activists from within the supporters. How do we find new activists? What's a good character traits to look for in our supporters to come to activists that another activist can key on to think this person might be a good activist and can help us out? Organizers, once again, we need organizers. We need to know how we can find organizers, the best way to find organizers from within ourselves. And then at the leadership level, to apply the marketing and demographic principles and to overall integrate our recruitment efforts.